teacher from Newcastle, and he last year was qualified as a Google certified teacher at the Google Teacher Academy in London. And he has an awesome blog which I have actually tweeted, well, I've emailed to a lot of our staff. If you haven't seen it before, you need to have a look, find his link from here. Have a look at his website, have a look at his blog. I sort of wrote a blog on him, saying that it was by far the most inspirational piece of teaching I'd ever heard of. And I think this was maybe when he was in his NQT year. He's, if you've seen it, he's done something on, you need to look this up, when the alien spaceship crash landed in his school field and abducted him, and the other one where the Aztec warriors ransacked his classroom. Now you're going to think, what the hell has that got to do with teaching? Look it up, look on his blog, and you'll be absolutely amazed and inspired about what we can do in the classroom with a little bit of energy, a little bit of creative thinking, and the kids absolutely love it. So that's Simon now, I'll pass it to him now.
Thanks very much. My details are up on the screen. I'm Simon McLoughlin. I teach at Hotspur Primary in Newcastle City Centre. I'm on Twitter at Simon McLoughlin, and my website is simonmclaughlin.com. Today I'm going to be speaking about it's actually my master's essay that I did for the first year of my master's about classroom display, whether it's just an alternative to wallpaper, should we just put up some paper, or if it actually can be used as a really, really good, useful learning resource. I'll warn you now, and I hate it when people do this, but there will be a little bit of audience participation, so prepare yourself. I'm going to give you 15 seconds. Can you describe that man? Come up with some words in your head or with the people around you. 15 seconds, off you go. Right, you've had roughly 15 seconds. This was a picture that I showed my class last year. I taught year 5 last year and I teach year 3. This was a picture that I showed them as part of our photo of the day. Every day when they came into the classroom, there was a picture on the board and it was their job to describe it, to say what's going to happen next. There was an activity linked to each picture. This one was one of the first ones that we did, and I said, describe this man. Who is he? What do we know about him? And they came up with lots and lots of information about him. This was all done either when they finished what they were supposed to be doing, or just first thing in the morning when they came in the 5 minutes that we had before we settled down. They came up with lots of things like he works at the bank, he has a big house, he was a singer in the 1980s and he still sings in the shows. He has 25 sports cars and 10 jets. So there's lots and lots of things they're coming up with rather than he's old. There was a few he's old, there's one down at the bottom. But I did that to really get my children thinking, what is it that they could, how could they describe him rather than just he's old, he's got grey hair. So it really, really developed their thinking skills, it developed the creativity, and it was really to get their vocabulary built up a little bit because their vocabulary wasn't as good as I would like it to be. So this really, really worked really well, and every day there was something different. I can't remember what the next slide is, I'm going to try it. Yes, right. So this was them when they were actually looking at that photo, and we do assertive mentoring in school, and every child has this file full of other words that they can use for certain words. One child didn't want to use the word old, so he went away and looked up on his own, without any prompts, looking up other words for the word old, and that's exactly what I wanted, but I had never ever told them that I wanted them to do that. They went and did that themselves and looked up lots of information so that they could impress everyone else in the class. Second thing I put into my essay is that this classroom display that's up on the wall looks a bit bare. There's a picture of the Titanic, supposedly. That was completely 100% made by the children in my classroom. And it was a working wall. And when they found out something new about the Titanic, we were learning about the Titanic at the time, they were able to go and post up a new window on the bottom of it. So they were always thinking, right, I want to get something up on the wall, I want to put something up. How can I do that? I can go and listen and do, or find out, or search, whatever they wanted to do, and they were able to put that information up. The children really became very focused on what they were learning at that point, rather than just, oh, here he is talking again. or we'll have to do another research and blah, blah, blah. It was very much a case of they wanted to do it because they wanted to have their work up on the wall. It was a working wall, it was always changing, and it worked really, really well. There's a question for you. What's the capital of Uzbekistan?
Tashkent.
Tashkent. Did you all look at the black square at the top, or the black line at the top right, when you wanted to see that? This was the third thing that I talked about. Let's see, Tashkent, well done. One morning, the children came into my classroom. Written along the bottom of my board was who was Mrs. Nurg. Along the top of the window, we had movement, respiration, sensitivity, nutrition, excretion, respiration, and growth, or reproduction and growth. And there's all the things that show living creatures. And I made absolutely no reference to this whatsoever. I left it up on the wall and on the board for 2 weeks. Anytime the children asked me about it, I just said, no, go away, leave it alone. So, it became very intriguing for them, and they were always looking at it. Then one day, when it was time for us to actually do this science lesson, the children arrived in the school and I said, right, who's Mrs. Nurg? Every single child looked up at the wall where those words used to hang, and they weren't there anymore. However, they were about half of them were able to give me most of the words. They had learned the vocabulary, they had learned everything that I needed them to learn, I just needed to put the meaning into it. So they had done the hard bit, they had learned the vocabulary, and it was really, really amazing actually to see that happening, to see the children learning without me actually having taught them at all. All I did was stick a few pieces of paper on the wall. So that really did show that just having one thing up on the wall can be a really, really useful learning resource. I've come to the end, just look at 55 seconds. So those are my details. I'm going to put in another little plug. If you are on Twitter, can you please follow my class? They're Hotspur3Y. They're tweeting every day about what they're learning in school, and we would love to have some responses back from people if you are on Twitter.